Hi, welcome to our channel. If you're new here, my name is Cindy and I make all kinds of beauty and fitness content. So if that's the kind of thing you like, then please subscribe and also hit the notification bell button. This week I did a week of spooky looks. So that's 7 palettes and 7 looks. I used these 7 palettes. Anyway, if you want to see the looks that I did and hear my thoughts on the palettes, keep watching. So for today's look, the first look, we're going to use the Haunted Europe palette. Isn't that pretty? And we're going to stick with gray because I'm wearing gray. Okay, so we're going to stick right here in this quad, except we're not going to use it. I doubt we're going to use any purple. We could put some in, but I'm not feeling it right now. So let's go ahead and start off with this lightest shade of gray and put it in the crease. I had started this already and realized I'd not done any primer. So that's the reason there was a little bit of gray there, because I went and tried to wipe it off. I didn't get very far, just that one eye. And so then I went and put a little bit of primer all over. Not very much. I don't have much left. Let's start off pretending we're going to do a cat eye, and then we can change. We're going to use this a darker shade of gray right next to it. I'm just using this little tiny angle brush so it doesn't get too thick, in case I decide to do a halo. Looks like the only shade of gray shimmer we got is just one shade. So let's just go ahead and do a halo eye. We'll just stick a little bit here in this corner. Now let's take this gray shimmer right here next to the purple shimmer that we're not going to use. We have used the purple before in another look. But I try to make these looks different if I'm going to be putting them on the camera. That's the reason we're not going to use purple. If we do use purple, it'll just be for like a little highlight under the eyes or something. Let's go ahead and grab a flat brush to help that out. It's pretty gray. I hope y'all like gray. Not necessarily my favorite color, but this is the spooky look, so we're going to go with the flow. Now let's go ahead and take our brush that we was using for let's see about blending this out a little bit. That does not have any black in it. We could darken it up even more, but we'll probably have black under the eye. Maybe, wipe my hand off, a little bit of purple in the center. The purple shimmer, that's different. We hadn't done that for sure. Well, I'm not seeing a big shade. I have to wipe that off, got it on my face. Add a little bit of a purple sheen to it. It was just too gray. And we don't have a matte purple, but we've got purple gel liner sticks and purple eyeliner. Okay. So for under the eye, we got just a kind of shimmer of purple. It's not going to be a whole lot. It's just going to be an accent, except that I would like to use another flat brush and darken that purple up in the center. I guess they knew what they were doing when they paired these up. Make it a little bit darker. There. So let's use our gel liner underneath our eye. We could use black, but we need a little contrast here. Yeah, this is not very dark. This is it's not very dark. How about we use the liquid instead? It could just be that it's new. Let's use the liquid instead under the eye. Got it in my waterline a little bit. It's got a mess to clean up here, don't I? So I'll be cleaning this up. Okay, I tell you what, you know, I'm going to do a lot of makeup looks here in a short amount of time. So I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to put on my eyelashes and stuff. And then we'll finish up the inner corner after I get back. And I'll tell you my final look thoughts. Okay, I'm back. So this is the finished look. I ended up using my Amazon lashes. I used my Elastin tinted sunscreen and Wet n Wild powder. For blusher, I used the Pat McGrath Labs Trio. And then I finished it off with a little bit of highlighter in the corners. And this brown on my nose, pink above the cheeks, and the white above my eyes. And this is the finished look. You know, with my eyes open, it may look a little patchy, but I think that's just my brow bone, because when the eyes are down, it doesn't look patchy. Anyway, is this my favorite look? I think it looks okay. I'm more of a color person, but you know, I may learn to like gray. Anyway, we're wearing it all day to work, and I got a gray top on, and it's a good thing we added that purple. I think just complete gray would have been just too drab. Anyway, so this is the final look. I did like this palette. You know, we've not really given it enough love, and so that's the reason I wanted to use it again. So stay tuned for the next look. So for today's spooky look, we're going to use Nomad's palette, Royal Europe. I'm not sure exactly what time of the year this was released, but I bought it just a month or so ago off their website. And I'm sure there's plenty of spooky places in Royal Europe. Today, we're going to use the kind of bluey turquoise and the purple. We're going to start off with this purplish color. It's kind of, in this light, it looks purple, but in some other lights, it looks kind of reddish on me. But we're going to put that in the outer corner. I don't think I've even swatched this palette. This is the first time I've used it. The little impressions are all in mint condition. So I'm happy to get to use this one. We're going to have the purple on the outer side. And I hope I got out enough brushes. And then on the inner, let's go ahead with a darker shade of blue. Let's try this turquoise right here. And then we'll have in the inner corner this light turquoise. And this here, on one shift, it looks kind of purple, and another shift, it looks kind of turquoise. We're going to put that on the lid. So let's go ahead and start with this medium shade next to the purple. I'm probably using too big of a brush, but I've already started it. And then let's go ahead, I'm wiping that off, and then we're going to use this top lighter turquoise shade. I think I got too much on there. wipe it off and just do some blending. I do have my whole face and eyelids primed with First Aid Beauty. I could not tell a big difference in the lighter blue and the medium blue. Maybe it's just because I used too much. Let's smooth that out. And then we're going to go ahead with this shade. Inside here it looks blue. When I look at like here, it looks purple. So it's got a purple shift to it. So we're going to go ahead and put that on our lid. It looks blue right here when I put it on. But I will look at it in the pan. It looks kind of purple. I'm going to have to do some blending. I've got some patchiness going on here in the crease. But that could, a lot of it, because my hooded eyes. I used to not think I had hooded. It's like they just crept up on me all at once. So I'm going to go ahead and put this shimmer, this one right here that we've been working on the lid. So now I'm just kind of blending it in. I don't have anything extra on this brush, although we might put something extra on it. Maybe we're just going to put just a tad more of the light blue on it, just a little bit. Right here at my brow, it likes to get patchy. Whether I got on primer or not. But I don't think primer is really necessary. But, you know, I've got it, so I'll use it. Under eye. This is kind of a browny color. I think we're just going to use the purple. We'll put the purple on top of it. This is more of a reddish brown, not really a maroon. We'll try the purple. We might even help it out with the purple eyeliner too, the liquid. And we're still using this top color, kind of purpley. Little touch up there. I don't want to go too wild though. Although I'm not working today, I could go as wild as I want. And take that go down. So I think now I'm going to finish up with the scented moisturizer, powder, and lashes, and blush. And then we'll come back and finish up the highlighter. Okay, I got my lashes and my powder and my blush on. For the blush, I use this blush quad. I believe it came in an ice cream beauty box. My lashes came from Amazon, some real inexpensive. I think this is about $8 for all these pairs. And we'll finish up. I did touch up the under eye with the purple color that was on the brush a little bit to try to help it out. And I did some more blending on the blue color on my eyes. So you can see we got the blue and the purple. We're just going to use this lightest shade of highlighter, put in the inner corner. On our cheeks, we'll do the pink. And the shade I used of that quad was the pink and the pink. Anyway, my final thoughts. I do like this palette. I think this is the first time I've used it. It's got real pretty packaging and real pretty cover. I would have liked some lighter shades in here for blending, you know, like Blend Bunny does. But anyway, it is what it is. You know, I was able to blend with just translucent powder. I didn't pull out another palette or anything. Like, for instance, that light blue. I would have liked it being a little bit lighter, or something. But anyway, that's okay. So this is look 2. Stay tuned for look 3. Now for look 3, I decided we would use this Blend Bunny Beauty Below palette. I know it's not necessarily Halloween, but if it's not spooky, I don't know what is. I wanted to do green, but if you look at that bottom color underneath the green, that's sort of a browny gold color. It's not really green, and we just used turquoise, so we wasn't going to do that again. So we're going to do a purple halo. We're going to stick right here in this corner unless we dip out into some black or something. So let's get going. Let's take my little Blend Bunny brush. Oh, in case you're wondering, this is a fever blister. If you watched my last videos, okay, starting off with this darker color. If you watched my last video, you know that I got filler and Botox on Monday. And on Thursday, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but I went and had a tooth filled at the dentist. And then Friday, I did kind of feel something scratchy up here, and I thought they had just scratched me. But by this morning, it was a full-fledged fever blister. So let's do a little bit on the inner side, not too much. I could get as wild and crazy as I wanted, but I'm trying to do different looks that, you know, we hadn't done this month for the spooky season. Well, some of them will be for last month, but so that gets kind of challenging. We can do a lot of green. We might do a green tomorrow maybe. And we can mix a lot of colors with green. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this off, and there's a little bit lighter shade of purple down here. I'm gonna grab that, and we're gonna put that in the crease at the top. Kind of blend it in. Hopefully this will look good because I'm wanting to make another video after this. And just this is the same day that look 2 was on, but I had lunch with my husband, and then I came up here and washed it off, and we're going to do another one. I think about 2 looks in one day is all I can do. Yes. Okay, let's take this dark purple here, and we're going to tap it on our lid, the dark purple shimmer right here. Now, I don't know really what year this palette came out. I got this summer whenever I was buying a bunch of stuff before I decided, ooh, I need to save some money. Was it the summer or fall? It was late summer, I believe. I bought a whole bunch of Blend Bunny palettes. So let's go ahead and see if we can take a little bit flatter brush and kind of smooth that out to the edge. Not so much in the center, because we're going to put that lighter color there too. Yeah, I do believe 2 looks is all I can do, because like even right now my eyes are a little sore. There's this one, I think her Heather Austin, she does swatches of on her eye, and that would hurt my eyes. So we're going to take this lighter shade of purple. So we're going to put that in the very center, give it a little bit lighterness. Because we'd already I do love all these palettes. But I think I've got my feel of Blend Bunny for a little while. Plus, lately they've just been coming up with like matte palettes and shimmer palettes. I prefer to have everything all in one palette. I don't like this business of having to buy 2 palettes, which, you know, I've already told y'all that before. Now we're going to do a little bit more blending. I'm going to go ahead and take this shade right here that we was using, and I'm going to do some more blending at the top. We can line our eyes underneath. How about we use a black liner? Black liner. We've been lining with purple and stuff. And green. This is a black gel liner I got from Amazon. We might get out a little bit of that dark purple to it also. I'm going to take this darkest purple here, right here, and I'm going to tap that over the black. Let's see if we can get that in. Uh-oh, sorry about that. Okay, so this is the initial look where I'm going to go ahead and put on my sunscreen and put my lashes on and blush, and I'll be right back with the finished look. Okay, so this is the final look using the Blend Money Beauty Below palette. We just did a halo look using this purple quad area right here. To finish it off, I used my Elastin tinted sunscreen and Wet n Wild setting powder. I used this pink blush off this blush quad that came in a beauty box, and I used the pink highlighter from Jason Wu on the cheeks. I used the white highlighter on my inner corner and above my brows. The only thing extra I did some extra blending above the eye. I didn't add any other color or not. I did kind of touch up the under eye a little bit, and I did add a little extra color of that darkest purple shade to that, but that's all we did. And so I like it. I like the last look. I was kind of sad to take it off, but I needed to do another look. So here's the final look. I hope you like it. Stay tuned for look 4. So for our next look, we're going to use our Gourmande Girls Track palette. And I think I'm in the mood for pink and green off in the outer corner of this bright pink. And we're going to line the eye with that also. So the green's kind of light. We're not going to use that darkest shade of green. Let's go ahead, and because that's kind of bright, which I want bright, I'm just going to tap of that dark brownie maroon to kind of darken it up, and then we will do some more stuff later. I wanted the pink, but I wanted the dark too. We just wanted them both. And today you can see my grays. I'm getting my hair done today, and so I didn't put any of that spray root touch-up in it. I wanted it clean. Let's go ahead and take a fluffy brush and use this light green here for the crease area and above. I do have my face moisturizer and primer, and underneath my eyes, just because I'm just not happy the way they look, I put a little L'Oreal foundation serum just to try to cover up those circles a little bit. And I'll go ahead and this middle shade of green, not the darkest, the middle, let's put it a little bit. Now I'm hoping my green shimmer is going to stick on top of this after I'm not going to put too much on there, just a little bit. I knew we was going to be taken off. Now we're going to take this green shimmery color right here, and we're going to put it on the lid too. Make sure my hand's clean. We got some yellow here too we could use. We could use that for the inner corner maybe, underneath some highlighter. We could add some pink shimmer too, but I don't want to do that. I think I'd rather just darken the pink back up. And that's going to go under our eye a little bit too. Now let's just do some blending. We'll use that brush that we had the green on. We might add a little bit more. Let's go ahead and this lightest shade of green, let's add just a little bit more. Now then, we could do a little bit of yellow. How about a little bit of yellow here on our brow bone? I don't know how that's going to look. It just kind of lightens it out. That's fine. I think this is the first time I used much of the yellow. I mean, I know I've got some dents and I used it some. I don't know what I used it with. Kind of not real memorable. We'll save this fresh and use it for the inner sign. Okay, I think we've done about all that. We're going to take this pink. We're going to start off with this pink Wet n Wild and line our under eye with it. This has got mainly pink, but it's got shifts of other color too. I think green might be one of them. I'm not going to line the whole eye. I mean, I'm going to line the under eye. I'm going to line the pink part of the, I line this too, although it's going to get covered up with black when we do eyelashes. So that's kind of a waste. And I picked this up at Walgreens. Okay, so I think I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to put on my foundation or my sunscreen and powder and lashes, and I will be back and we'll finish up the look. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm back. This is the finished look. I used the larger rollers today. You'll have to tell me what you think about that, if you like my hair curly or a little bit more smoothed out or what. Anyway, so this is what we ended up with. I just smoothed it out a little bit, and that's pretty much all. I didn't really add any more color to it. I did add the yellow. I added yellow to the inner corner and a little bit on the brow bone, but other than that, I smoothed things out. I didn't add any more green or anything. You know, I think I might have touched up the underline with this Wet n Wild gel pen. And for the lipstick, I used this Nomad pink, so I gotta get that in my purse today, so I'll have it. And for blush, I used this, came in the BoxyCharm. I just used the powders. I'm not big on, I'd already had my setting powder on. I didn't use this. This has got a cover on it, so I assume that's cream. And so this is it. Stick tuned for the next look. So for the next look, we're going to use the Smoketown USA palette. I purchased this off their website in the summer. Okay, so I'm wearing red today. We've already done a brown look with this palette in previous videos, so let's stick with the greens over here. Here they are. Some of these look, when you look at them in some of my light, like these over here, these look more gold than green, but in this light they look green, so we might use those. I was thinking about using this silver color or gray color down here, but looking at it in the light, I might like the greens to go with it. We'll just see how we feel when we get started. Let's start off with this lightest shade of green in the crease right there. And I'm thinking about a halo today, even though I'm starting in the crease. Brush, and I'm going to use the middle shade of green right here and put in my corners. I did have my hair done yesterday. And it'll be 10 weeks and I'll get it done again. I'm trying to stretch it out to 3 months in between, but we'll do it at 2 weeks at a time. I was going 8 weeks, now I'm stretching 10 weeks. Use this center shimmer. But instead of using my finger, I already started the other one. Let's make both eyes the same. Let's use a flat brush. It's kind of gold, even though it's got a green shift to it. They seem, both of them, when I swatched them on my hand, to have a lot of gold. And another thing, I could have used this color. That was pretty, being cool tone, but warm tone's fine. Now, let's look in the full view. I don't know. It was right next to it. It's supposed to go. Let's go ahead and take this middle shade again and brighten things up. I'm going to go ahead and use this light shade again. Trying to do some blending. Anyway, that's the color that looked like it went with it, so that's what we did. Of course, I'm wearing red, and anything will go with this. About brightening the corners up with this darkest kind of browny green down here, and let's see what happens. We'll touch that at the end. We're not going to do the inner corner. We might stay a little lighter with that. Something else. Now I'll do some more blending. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is, look what I got from Amazon. So we're going to try to underline our eyes with that. And if we don't like it, we can add some of that dark green on top of it. And it's not really the same shade green. Tried it out. We're going to put something else on top of it. So I'm going to go ahead and put on my foundation and powder and lashes, and then I'll be back and we'll finish it up, okay? Okay, I'm back. I got it cleaned up and most of it done now. This green stuff turned out to be a mess. I had to try to wipe it off. It didn't even want to put anything on top of it. So I might try to use it again, but it's probably going to go in the trash. Let's go ahead and do our inner corner real quick. I didn't do that yet, so I'm going to use this lightest shade of green for that we use in the crease. We might put a little sparkle there, but we might not. And we didn't really put any sparkle in the center of this, but I've already got my lashes on, and I think it looks fine the way it is. So for the lips, I use this lip pencil and these Amazon things. I use this blush quad. Okay, and I started off with this kind of brown color, and it still had a pink cast to it, and then I put a little bit of this peach on it too. And that came in the Ice Cream Beauty box. It's Be Bella is the brand. So let's go ahead and just put a little highlight on our cheek. I always use pink for the cheek highlight. And then the nose. And I guess we can do a little bit of the white highlighter on the inner corner. It's not really showing up. So it didn't really matter. It probably, if we hadn't had nothing, it would. So this is the look that I'm going to use. I figured it would go with red, and I've got an appointment today, so I didn't want to get too wild. But, you know, green is a neutral. So anyway, stay tuned for the next look. Today we're going to use the Witch City Salem palette. Isn't that pretty? Anyway, I've loved this palette. I've used it a lot. Even on camera, I've used it a whole bunch, and I've used it a lot off camera too. Anyway, we're going to stick with the maroons and reds today. But first, let's prime our eyes. So, and another thing too, I've just been horrified about the condition of my under eyes. So I picked this up at Walgreens yesterday. They had a buy one, get one half. I would have picked up something at Ultra, but it was too far from the house, and I didn't. So I just went to Walgreens. I needed some stuff from Walgreens anyway. So we're going to see if this helps any. And I do have a consultation with Dr. Meninga. I'm going to use this darkest shade of this maroon. And we're going to put that in the corners because we're going to have to do something easy today, a halo, because, you know, I did my nails this morning. Anyway, these are Impress Nails by Kiss. Uh-oh, did the wrong thing in there. These are Impress. Maybe I didn't. I just thought I did. The Gel FX. Most of those, they have a lot of colors, but most of those are short. To get the medium, they don't have as much selection. And I'm not sure that I like this shape. It's more round instead of almond. But it's okay. Let's just go ahead and put next to it. I'm going to go ahead and use this same brush. Wipe it off. This a little bit lighter shade. We're going to use that next to it. It's more of a red. And we have a sort of a, then we have a red shimmer. Finger's too dirty. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this brush off. I'm in a hurry. And we're going to use this red shimmer on the lid. We might not get it too terribly dark. And then we'll take a different brush. So we're using the shimmer with this flat brush. I was contemplating orange, and I'm sure I can find a palette with orange in it. Because I want to use all separate palettes. I don't want two purples. I'm going to go ahead and touch up this darkest shade on the corners. It'd be nice if we had something for the top. They've got this orange. We could put that on the top. I really just need a neutral color to help me blend. And, you know, we can use, let's use this bottom color that goes with it, and I will use my finger on that. See if we can lighten that up. But when you're wearing red, I've heard it said you need to go either dark, dark red, because if you try to go light, you'll just look sick. So, let's take a black gel liner. If we don't like it, if I don't like it, I can put some of that dark red underneath it. And they do have some black that we could use also, but I'm afraid that's going to get all over our face. But we can tap the black over this little thin brush, and we'll try to tap out some of the black. This black right here. Maybe darken out that corner a little bit too. Okay, so right now I believe I'm going to put my sunscreen and powder and try to do a little bit more blending, and then we will come right back with the finished look. Okay, I'm back, and this is almost the finished look. For my lips, I used the Nomad Lippy that came with the set, And for the bronzer, I just used some bronzer, and it was a little bit orangey. So I added a little bit of pink on top from that palette we used yesterday. I just got my plain on Amazon lashes that I like, and with black adhesive. And for the under eyes, boy, that might have been a mistake, putting that black powder in the eyes. That was a terrible idea getting out. As far as the circles and the, you know, and my imperfections under my eyes, I don't know if that concealer stick made any difference at all. I'll be able to tell more when I'm editing. Y'all leave in the comments what you think, if it made any difference. Anyway, but like I said, I do have a consultation. Oh, so let's go ahead and do the inner corner. I'm thinking for the inner corner, let's go ahead and use this lighter shade of shimmer that we used on the inner eyes. And I do have to tell you, I love this palette. Love, love it. And I've got a little bit of shine on my cheeks and stuff from the highlighters. So I'm just going to drop the highlighter today. The 7 o'clock bell already rang and I got to get to work. So thank you for watching. And we have one more look. So don't leave. Well, as promised, we're going to do an orange look today. We're going to use this Poppy and Fluff palette that came in the ice cream box. We did do one look with it. I can't really remember what we did, but it was an orange. So we're going to try to put some of this orange and brown together and see what we can come up with. Yesterday's look, you know, I was a little bit nervous thinking it was too dark and everything, but after I got it all finished up, lashes on and everything, and I really liked it all day. So we're going to start with this. I don't know how much good it does, but we're still going to, we bought it, so we're going to use it, this stick here to try to, I don't know how much help this does. Anyway, I've got 2 of them, so I'll be using them. I do have primer on my face. We're going to start off with, what color is this? This dark brown in the corner. And I did like my halo yesterday. And so I think that's what we're going to do, another halo. I don't know if my halos are true halos or not. I don't. Try it again. So I'm going to use this kind of reddish brown next to it. Not over the whole lid. We're going to save some room for the orange. And we got orange shimmer too. I found 3 palettes with acceptable oranges, but I chose this one. Of course, I didn't even look at my real old ones. This is a sparkle orange, and this is a matte orange. We're going to kind of put it in the crease a little bit, do some blending, and then we'll also add some more. Now our choice of orange, this is more of a peach, and this is more of a rusty color, so I think that's what we're going to put. When I swatched them out on my hand this morning, I think I decided on this dark rusty. So let's start on this dark rusty. I'm going to go ahead and get me a brush to use it with instead of my hand. And spread it out. Kind of a dark orange, rusty color. It's kind of a, it's orange peachy. This is definitely a fall palette because the name of it's Scarecrow. Ooh, scary. I'm going to do some blending here. And whenever I put on my other makeup, I mean my foundation and stuff, I will definitely do more blending off camera. I just have to keep these short in order to keep the video a reasonable length that people will watch. So there's definitely a whole bunch of stuff cut out. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to buy any more liquid liners. Make the center a little more sparkly. What are we going to use? The yellow or the peach? Let's use the yellow in the center of our eye. Okay. Give it a little bit more sparkle. We could have used the peach. Okay, so I'm going to be doing some more blending of this top and blending it out, and I'm going to put on my foundation and that good stuff, and then we'll come back and finish up the look. Well, I'm back, and this is almost the finished look. We're still got to do the inner corner and some highlights. What I ended up doing was the regular lipstick that I picked up from Amazon, and the blush I used this brown and pink, or brown and peach, but it still wasn't very dark, so I added some more bronzer on top, but it still doesn't seem very dark. It may just be that my eyes are so dark, and it really is darker than it looks. I did a lot of blending with the orange shade at the top, but that's about the only thing I did. The underline, the under eye, I took that liquid liner off the best I could because it just wasn't working out. You don't need to be putting stuff on top of that. And I used a brown pencil, and then I used this Wet n Wild on top of that. And then my lashes are just the regular lashes that you guys have seen a million times. So let's go ahead and do our inner corner. How about, I want the yellow, but I don't think it's really going to stick out that much. So why don't we use the yellow matte? We're going to try it out. Hope we don't mess it up. We're going to use this yellow matte here in the corner. And because we've got plenty of orange on the eye, we'll use that yellow first. And then we put that yellow in the center. Remember that. Then we'll put the yellow powder on top of that. So maybe it'll show more. And other highlighters, let's just use our Jason Wu highlighter. And we'll put that on our cheeks and our nose. And we'll take the lightest shade and put over our eyes. So this is about it. I'm probably going to do another separate video ranking the palettes what I like, because this video is getting kind of long. And I want to thank everyone for watching, and be sure and give me a like and subscribe, and we'll see you for the next makeup video that I decide to do. Okay,